Well, hello there. What's going on? It's Mistress Carrie, and welcome to episode 142 of the Mistress Carrie extravaganza known as Cocktails in the War Room. It is shocking to me that we are already at 142 episodes, and I want to thank everybody that is joining me here in the War Room, including... Hi! You decided to hang out with everybody tonight. Do you want to say hi? Your pug cam is a little close. Yeah, it's a little close, Wednesday. Say hello. Why is it so close? Let's move it back so people can see how beautiful you are. Not your butthole. Nobody wants to see that, Wednesday. Say hi. Say hello, everyone. You didn't join us last week, and today you just walk right in. I didn't have to bribe you with cookies. I didn't have to bring you anything. No. Say hello, everyone. So for anybody that's new to Cocktails in the War Room, first of all, I want to welcome you to the show. And I want to introduce you to Wednesday. This is my co-host. She's my consort, my partner in crime, my sidekick, whatever you want to call her. But she has been here for almost all of the episodes of Cocktails in the War Room. So if you are new to the War Room, if this is your first episode, meet Wednesday. You can find her on Instagram at Wednesday the Goth Pug. And if you're new to the War Room, here, do you want some of your toys? I brought the ducking stingray in here for you. If you're new to the War Room, let us know in the comments so that we can welcome you properly to the War Room family. And what's up to everyone that has been here for all 142 episodes of Cocktails in the War Room? They call themselves the War Room family. And so we want to welcome you properly. So welcome to all of the new family members, says Donna. She is lovely, says Joy. Thank you. Let's see. Scott says, ooh, cocktail. Got some moonshine I'm about to crack open. That is fantastic. Wednesday, Michael says hello. Yeah, Michael says hello. Your ride or die bitch. That's a good one, Heidi. That's exactly what she is. Hello, everyone. Hello, Kim. Kim says hi to Wednesday. She is wound up today. I don't know where you are while you're watching, but we had some pretty severe thunderstorms go through earlier. And she was not having it. Wait, what does that say? Does that say pug hole? Add it to the dictionary. Oh my God, the pug hole. That's got to go in. So for anybody that's new to the War Room, if you go to the Mistress Carrie blog on mistresscarrie.com, the very first post, you got to scroll all the way down to the bottom. You will find what we call the Wednesday, where are you going? Come over here. You will find what we call the dictionary. And that is all of the terms and inside jokes. Hey, get off the coffee table. Get down. All of the inside jokes, terminology, shorthand that we all use here in the War Room to say hi. Yeah, you're not supposed to get on the coffee table. I don't care what's on there. You can't have it. Pug hole. That's going to stick. I didn't mean it like that. But the dictionary will get you caught up on all the inside jokes because we don't ever want someone that's new to the War Room to feel like they're not included into all of the old jokes. Hey, will you get down? You are not supposed to have those. There's a bag of cookies, not hers, mine, that are on this table, and she wants them and she can't have them. You can't have those cookies. Those are not your cookies. Those are people cookies, not dog cookies. See? And all of a sudden, the War Room roadies came in and took the cookies away. And now Wednesday wants nothing to do with me anymore because the people cookies are gone. Just so you guys know, part of the dictionary is keeping track of the cocktail that I'm having in the War Room. Depending on the glass, this means spiked coffee. It's been a day. So that's what that means. Oh, we got Wednesday. Do you want some of your cookies? Come over here so everybody can see you. Come here. Come here. Sit down. Good girl. Okay, back up so everyone can see your sweet little face. Sit. No, back up. Sit down. Good girl. No, sit. Can I have your paw, please? Thank you. Other paw. I want the other one. Good girl. Down. No, down. Down. Wednesday. Down. Good girl. No, back up. High five. High five. Good girl. There you go. She only has so many tricks. She likes to show them off. Let's see. There you go. I'm excited. Can't stop talking about it. We discuss where you're going. Yeah, we have a lot of stuff to talk about tonight, guys. So the first thing I wanted to do, because obviously Wednesday wanted to be part of the show tonight in a major way. Last week, she didn't even want to come in on the show. It was one of the very few Wednesday free episodes of Cocktails in the War Room. But tonight, she wants to be in here. Can I grab your face? Can I boop your nose? Boop. Can I boop your nose? Boop. Boop. Boop, 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 boop. Sit down. Sit. Good girl. Good girl. Yeah. Yeah, we have a lot of stuff to talk about. This show should be only on Wednesdays. I know, Michael. But it just worked out that it's on Tuesdays because I wanted to be able to talk about the podcast episodes before they came out, which the new podcast episodes come out on Wednesday. So that's kind of how we ended up having the War Room episodes on Tuesday. It was one of the many reasons, but here we go. So we have, yes, tricks for treats. Exactly, Heinz. She's only got so many. She was a bitch last week, Matthew. Now you're being so good. Now you're being so good. Why? Why are you being so good today? Are you tired? Were you scared because of the thunder and lightning? Huh? Is that what it was? Is that what it was? I'm rubbing her belly right now. She is totally having it. Let's see. Yeah, we got to talk about Joey Jordison. We have so much stuff we have to talk about in tonight's episode. So Wednesday, are you going to hang out on the episode, or do you want me to give you the rest of these cookies before you go? This is the last one. Back up. I want a high five, please. High five. I want the other one. No, the other one. Back up. Good girl. Back up. No, back up. Not sit down. Back up. There you go. Nicely. 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 Good girl. This is like therapy, by the way. Just like if I could tabulate the number of hours that I have spent rubbing this dog's head. I love that it's on Tuesday. It's my night off, says Jonathan. Well, that's good. I'm glad. Yes, we have to congratulate Andy Biggio, Andy Biggs, author of The Rifle, because he became a dad for the second time today. So the first thing we're going to cheers to is some good news. So cheers to Andy Biggs and his growing Biggio family. Wednesday, you just going to hang out? I love this when you just want to come in and hang out with me. I have no more treats for you. They're gone. I'm sorry. They're all gone. You can stay if you want, though, because you look very cute. Don't look so sad. Don't look so sad. Here, I brought this for you. Here you go. You can hang out with your friends. There you go. So I'm very excited that Andy Biggs had another son today, which I'm very excited about. Hey, will you get down? Get down off the coffee table. We're supposed to be a professional show. We have sponsors and everything. You're killing me. Speaking of that, I want to thank our friends at Latini Creative Solutions for always being there to help us look as good as we can possibly be with a disobedient 3-year-old pug as the co-host of the show. So cheers to Andy Biggs. Had a little boy. He's got 2 sons now. I couldn't be happier for him. So awesome. So let's see. We got to talk about a bunch of stuff today. The first thing I want to do before we get into everything with the episode is I want to show you guys a shirt. So I went and dug through the archives and found one of the Woodstock 99 shirts that I got from the ill-fated Woodstock 99. Did you guys have a chance to watch the documentary yet? I watched it as soon as it got released at 9:00 Friday night because I was there. I was there in 94. And then I was there in 99, and watching the documentary made me so glad that I went to Woodstock 94, because even back then, I was one of those people that like to be prepared for things. So Woodstock 94, me and a bunch of my friends rented a van, like one of those 15 passenger school bus vans with the lights on the roof from a bus company because it was in the middle of the summer. And we went out, and that Woodstock, the muddy Woodstock, we carried everything in, camped, set up tents. We opted to walk the farthest and stay in the furthest field away from the stages because we knew the forecast and we knew it was going to get wet. We brought inflatable pool float mattresses because we knew we had to carry everything. And so we went to a point where we thought there would be the least amount of foot traffic so that the grass wouldn't erode, which turned out to be a fantastic decision. Out of all of the porta potties at Woodstock 94, our porta potties didn't suck that bad because, again, you had to walk so far to get to the field where we were camping, and there was nowhere to go after you got there. So there's no reason to walk through there unless you were staying there. So it wasn't that bad. We learned a lot in Woodstock 94. First of all, that the weather made people come together. And as my friends in the military say, embrace the suck, because everyone was wet and cold. And so everyone just kind of dealt with it. I didn't see one fight. Everyone was naked. There were people having sex everywhere. And there weren't, as far as I knew, any issues with security or sexual assault or anything like that. So by the time Woodstock 99 came around, I was already on the air at AAF. And when the lineup came out, I mean, that lineup was what AAF was playing in 1999. And so we made the decision to go. And so we rented a camper because we decided that we weren't going to all be able to sleep in the rock bus. So we rented a camper, and it was me, Ian Barrett from Real Rock TV, Otto, who was our bus driver. Then we had our promotions coordinator and an intern. And then Birdsey ended up there. I don't think he drove out with us, though. I think he just went out for fun with friends, and we bumped into him because I have pictures with him. But I don't think he came out with us. He was staying with friends. So as far as I can remember, and this was, a while ago, there were 5 of us sleeping in the RV. And because I had gone to Woodstock 94, I kind of knew what to expect because I remember certain things about 94 is like, because everyone was so cold, we were looking for hot food. And so people were spending a lot of money on hot pizza and hot chocolate, stuff like that. So when we saw the forecast was going to be hot, we figured the exact opposite would happen, that people would be scavenging for cold stuff. So we had an RV. We packed it with cold stuff. We had air conditioning. We all had clean beds. We had a bathroom of our own. It was full of water so we could clean up. I mean, we all couldn't shower, but we were cleaner than almost anybody else that was there. So as I was watching this documentary, we knew that there was a lot of craziness going on. Obviously, we saw the riots and we saw the people sleeping underneath the trailers because it was hot. But because we had made certain decisions about renting an RV and stuff, we didn't feel as miserable as everyone else. And I remembered from Woodstock 94 that we had done so much walking. So I brought extra shoes and we had an RV, and the RV parking wasn't cheap. I think it was like $1,000 for an RV slot or like something like that. But we all chipped in because we didn't care. And I think we got the radio station to pay for part of it. And we also needed the battery and the generator to charge the cameras and all of that stuff. So, yeah, Jane, everyone was great and helpful in 94. It was, we had an absolute blast and we were miserable. Everybody was miserable though. So we had so much fun. So as I'm watching this documentary, which I totally think everybody should see, especially if you were at Woodstock 99, it was really eye-opening for me because I didn't realize it was as bad for some of the people as it was. Obviously, I had heard the stories afterwards, but I also felt really guilty because we had a really good time and we weren't really miserable, and we didn't have backstage passes. We didn't have VIP access. We went lean and mean. And part of the reason why we didn't was because I believe that our competitor had some deal with MTV. And we got boxed out of getting any kind of media credentials because of the famous Boston rock radio rivalry. So we were like, you know what? We're going guerrilla style, and we're going to go there on our own, and we're going to get the stories that we're going to get with Real Rock TV. And we were going to go and interview people, and we were going to go and watch all the shows. And so everything that we had that made life more comfortable was because we thought about it ahead of time, not because it was provided because we had credentials. That's basically what I'm trying to say. So watching this documentary was crazy. So one of the things that I did, I dug out my old shirt, one of them anyway. Some of the other things I did was I dug out some of my old pictures. So here you guys will see the giant birds that were up as part of the set for Woodstock in the documentary. This is the backpack that I carried around. And that is Alfonso, our promotions coordinator, and my intern, Tucker. But that was me at Woodstock 99. I told you that we bumped into Birdsey, and you can check out his shirt because of Y2K. It seems so ridiculous now, but that was me and Birdsey. And I had my Dirty Birds softball jersey on because we had played a charity softball game earlier that year. It was me and the guys from Seven Dust against Rocco and the guys from Godsmack. So there you can really get a chance to see like how massive the stage was. And then this was what the stage kind of looked like at night and shows you how much closer to the stage we got. So that's my intern, Tucker, me, Alfonso was our promotions coordinator, and then Otto, who drove our rock bus, and so he was in charge of driving the RV. So that was us, Woodstock 99. And as you can see, not dirty. We were smiling. I mean, we were sweaty and we were hot, but like we were not suffering the way that other people were. And I was the only one out of the whole group that had been to Woodstock 94. So when I started telling everybody, I'm like, guys, like we have to bring all of our own stuff. So we would go back to the RV to like eat. We had coolers full of ice and water, and like it was not as bad for us. And as I was watching this documentary, I felt worse and worse about how prepared we were and how ill-prepared other people were and how miserable people were. Because I remember the long lines for the phones, the long lines for the ATMs, that you couldn't find water. If you watch the documentary, the open water spigots that they had for people to fill water bottles with that people were bathing in, we were walking by that and people were like shaving in the drinking water. And we were like, what the actual fuck are these people doing? So one of the things that I couldn't find, and part of the reason is because it was in my office. And so when the radio station went off the air last year and I had to pack up my office kind of quickly, I have a piece of the peace wall, the actual perimeter wall that got torn down and burned in the riots and stuff. I have a piece of it that I saved. It says Woodstock 99 on it. I got to find it. I just haven't been able to find it. So as I was digging through some of my stuff, one of the things that I thought was really funny is because I went to Woodstock 94, I found a bunch of my Woodstock 94 stuff that I wanted to show you guys too. So these were like these pamphlets that they were handing out when you walked through the gate at Woodstock 94. And it showed you like all of the different merch that you could get at Woodstock. And like it shows you the pricing on stuff. And like the t-shirts were like $16, which just seems so crazy now, because of how expensive the t-shirts are at concerts. And you'll see that the Woodstock shirt that I had on in that picture, I actually got at Woodstock 94 and then wore it to 99. Still have it because you guys know how I am with my stuff, especially my concert shirts. I save everything. But I thought it was hilarious that they had like hockey jerseys and these tie-dyed shirts and like these jean jackets. And I just thought it was hilarious that, you can go back and kind of look at some of the old merch. They had like a Woodstock kaleidoscope. So it just showed you like how much peace and love and happiness there was in 94. And then one of the other things that I saved was when we went to Woodstock 94 and we drove that van out there, you had to park in a lot that was like 25 or 30 miles away. And then you got on these buses that took you to the concert. So you couldn't park anywhere around the concert. And then depending on where you parked, that was the color parking pass you got with your tickets. And this was the parking pass that sat in the car the whole weekend. That's why it never got wet and it never got muddy, because it just sat on the dash of the van the whole time. And then it had a map on the back of like where your brown parking lot was, which is where we parked for Woodstock 94. Then I thought this was really funny. Who would have thought this is what we got after Woodstock 94? Because of the rain, people gave out these bumper stickers that said, I survived. Like somebody, or we bought it, I can't remember, but somebody produced it through the weekend. And I thought it was really funny because you needed this more for Woodstock 99 than you did for Woodstock 94. And I saved it because I'm a psycho and I save stuff like this. I have Rubbermaid totes full of concert tickets and just all of this stuff. And then the other thing that I found was the actual program from Woodstock 94. And inside it had everything from pages of all of the bands. So like the Rollins Band, the Red Hot Chili Peppers. It had like the Neville Brothers. I mean, look at Metallica. But it also had like maps and stuff like this. I mean, Peter Gabriel, come on. Green Day, look at like how young they were back then. Nobody really would have known Green Day would have become Green Day back at Woodstock 94. There was a lot of stuff in here, like Bob Dylan was there. Cypress Hill was there. The fact that I got this booklet out of Woodstock 94 and look at this. A young Cranberries and a young Dolores O'Riordan. I can't believe it's not destroyed. It's crazy. And guys, seriously, look at the advertisement in the Woodstock 94 pamphlet. Discmen and boomboxes. Hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. So I dug this out because I thought you guys would like to see it. I mean, Blind Melon was there. The band was there. Arrested Development, the Allman Brothers. It was an incredibly eclectic, Aerosmith. It was a very eclectic lineup. And when you watch the documentary of Woodstock 99, it was the same producers. Like, here it is right here. I just don't believe the producers when they said things like, we didn't plan for this and, that it wasn't our fault and like all of that kind of stuff. Because, this was Woodstock 94. Metallica was there. The Red Hot Chili Peppers were there. Collective Soul, Jackal, Candlebox, King's X, Live. What's really funny, so this is the original lineup of Candlebox, right? So Scott Mercado, the original drummer, we had become friends because the radio station, we actually bumped into him in the crowd at Woodstock. He was playing, but it was just out walking around. And it just had a totally different vibe and feel. And when you watch the documentary and you hear Moby talking about how you could just feel things being weird at Woodstock 99, it was weird because I was at 94 and it was so happy. And even though people were miserable, it was amazing. And I didn't have a bad time, but I know a lot of other people did. Look at this advertisement. Look at this Gibson advertisement. Look at the guys in Aerosmith. It's insane. So I thought I would dig some of this stuff out and show you guys. I I'm going to track down the piece of the peace wall from Woodstock 99. I have it. I just don't know where it is. And Ian Barrett took some of the most amazing photographs. There is a scene in the documentary. It's really fast. But when you get to Sunday night and the riots start, you'll see a guy with a flag with a peace sign dancing around one of the giant fires. We were right there because we have pictures of that guy. And it's the most telling photo of Woodstock 99. This guy's got a peace flag at a riot by this giant bonfire at Woodstock 99. And I kept looking for one of us in that footage because we were right there. So if you haven't watched it yet, you got to check it out. Danielle says it's so cool that you keep everything. Elsa says in 94, I was 13 years old. Love the memories. A true keepsake. Aerosmith came on at midnight in a thunderstorm. Mark, I know. And I got to tell you, like, when people ask me what's the best concert I've ever been to this day, I say Woodstock 94. It was unbelievable. Even in the wet, 9 Inch Nails in the mud, Aerosmith in the thunderstorm, the Green Day sod fight, the Red Hot Chili Peppers light bulbs on their head, Peter Gabriel being the last one to play on Sunday night. And when he started playing, the rain stopped. And it was like the most amazing thing in the world. It's the only time I ever hitchhiked in my life. We hitchhiked back to our parking lot on Monday. We woke up Monday morning in our tent and the sun was out and it was beautiful. And we packed up everything and we hitchhiked, all 7 of us, me and 6 of my friends. My sister was there, so 5 friends, my sister. In the back of someone's pickup truck, they gave us a ride. And I'll tell you this story really quick because then we got to talk about the podcast this week. So just imagine, right? You live through this muddy Woodstock 94, cold, wet, everything's muddy. We had taken all this individually wrapped food with us. So we had like Pop-Tarts and like stuff like that. But we knew the weather was going to rain. So we thought to ourselves, we'll leave our future selves something to look forward to when we get back to the van on Monday morning. So we left a cooler that was full of drinks. And we left food and we left a bag of weed in the van in the parking lot. So we hitchhiked back to the van and our stuff is just muddy and disgusting. I had a rash on my face from the mud for months after we got home. It was disgusting. And we get back to the van and the van had just been sitting out in this field for days. We open all the windows of the van. We put the radio on and Cecilia from Simon and Garfunkel came on the radio. And we're eating this food that we had left for ourselves and drinking cold drinks that were still in these coolers. And we're all dancing around on the hood of the van singing Cecilia by Simon and Garfunkel, which every time I hear that song to this day makes me remember Woodstock 94. And as we were driving back to Massachusetts, as soon as we crossed the Massachusetts border on the Pike, we pulled over at the first rest area. And there was a garden hose that they were using to like water the landscaping. And we took outdoor showers, fully clothed, but outdoor showers because we were so caked in mud. And we left this mud slick down the sidewalk at the rest area on the Pike because we were all so encased in mud that we just needed to get clean. And it is one of the best times I have ever had in my life. I'll dig out some more pictures from Woodstock 94. I had this ridiculous felt top hat that was like purple and black, and I had purple John Lennon glasses on, and it was amazing. So watching the Woodstock 99 documentary, it's very strange for me because it was a very different experience from 94, but also it became very glaringly obvious to me that all of us at Woodstock 99 had a way better time than pretty much everyone else at Woodstock 99. And it was because we were prepared. So there you go. In a van down by the river. That's exactly what we were, literally those people in a van down by the river. And before we returned the rental van, we had to take it home and we had to hose out the interior. It was disgusting because of how muddy everything was. But it was awesome. So there you go. So I wanted to dig out some Woodstock 99 stuff because everybody's talking about it because of the documentary. So there you go. And when I get some more pictures and stuff, I'm going to get them all scanned so that I can put them up online as well. All right, we got lots to talk about, so let's recap the podcast. First of all, last week's episode 59 of the Mistress Carrie podcast, featured Dan Murphy from All Good Things, who have since released the details on their debut album, which is called A Hope in Hell, and it's going to be out on August 20th. They had not announced that when we recorded the podcast episode, so he couldn't really tell me anything. But one of the things that I love about the podcast is I want to be able to introduce you guys to some of these up and coming artists. And this band, All Good Things, while they may be brand new as far as releasing albums, they've been around long enough where they have streamed a ton of music because of the video games and the sync licenses that we talked about in the episode. And so I wanted to have a podcast in a place where I could help you guys learn about these new artists so that when they become big, you guys can say, well, I remember when I heard him on the Mistress Carrie podcast. The way that you used to be able to say, well, I heard him on AAF first. It's the same kind of thing. And Danielle says, love this episode. Shannon says, great episode. Yeah, Jimmy, it's all Fred Durst's fault. I know. When you guys watch the movie about Woodstock, literally everybody gets blamed. And I'm just going to warn you, Flea is naked the whole time. You see all of Flea. I forgot that he was naked at Woodstock 99 because I didn't get up that close. We saw it on the screens, but when you watch the documentary, you see all of Flea. Danielle says the sync license part was very interesting. I thought you guys would think that was interesting because so many bands now getting songs on television shows and in movies and video games and commercials. That's how they go through like agencies, and the agents book this stuff, and the bands, there's a lot of money to be made. We're a long way from when Led Zeppelin was in a Cadillac commercial and people were talking about how they sold out. Like, this is a genuine revenue stream for artists now. This was a very hot podcast. So hot, his phone overheated. It's the first time where someone's phone legit overheated. And we were on Zoom together and he was showing me his phone and the battery was like, no. So it was hilarious. It was very hot. It's a very hot podcast. Now, these guys are touring with POD on the 20th anniversary of the Satellite album, and they are on the road. And if you are in New England, they are definitely making stops, including at the Palladium. So you definitely want to go and see them. I haven't seen them live yet. Looking really forward to it, but I can't wait to go and see POD. Loved how they did commercial songs first and then made an album from it. Melissa, it's one of those things where they never really thought that they were going to end up being a band that had an album and they were going on tour. They thought they were going to be kind of like a session band, kind of like the Immediate Family, but rather than working with other artists, they were just going to do this modern kind of sync licensing thing. And so I thought you guys would think it was really interesting. And I think the music is really cool. It's definitely different. And when you listen to their music, you hear like, oh yeah, wow, that does belong in a movie. Or yeah, that would sound really cool on a video game. So episode 59, if you haven't checked it out yet, is available everywhere you listen to podcasts, featuring Dan Murphy from All Good Things. I loved his story about when he was in high school and they went to go see Aerosmith and his mom had been overserved and was talking to Sully from Godsmack, which was just amazing. I want to thank the sponsors of this week's episode, Digital Federal Credit Union at dcu.org and also Jumptown Skydiving at jumptown.com for sponsoring this episode of the podcast. So, oh my God, Donnie from the Wild Thornberries was naked at Woodstock. Yeah. Yeah, and the nihilist from The Big Lebowski. You saw all of his nihilism at Woodstock 99. 94, they were dressed as giant light bulbs, which when you talk to the guys from the Red Hot Chili Peppers, they're kind of embarrassed about it. But being me way in the back at Woodstock 94, when the Red Hot Chili Peppers came out, you could see them on the stage because of the light bulbs. We thought it was really cool. Jerry, you definitely missed a good time at Woodstock 94 and 99. Hot podcast in my best Jim Gaffigan voice, says Thomas. I have seen POD. They were awesome. Yeah, they're a fantastic band if you haven't seen them yet. Sad that you can't win concert tickets anymore. I miss WAF so bad. Yeah, I mean, I am working on some ideas. And one of the things that I am trying to do is when I go out places in person to be able to have concert tickets to give away as prizes. So yeah, but it does suck because AAF used to give away a lot of tickets for sure. But there's a lot of really cool stuff happening. So that was episode 59. Super excited about episode 60, which, by the way, I cannot believe we're 60 episodes in. Episode 60 features Andy Bierzak from Black Veil Brides, who are also on tour. They are touring with In This Moment, and they have a new record coming out. Matter of fact, they have a new graphic novel series coming out as well. So there's a lot going on with the Black Veil Brides. Andy also hosts his own podcast, and he also is on Amazon Prime on a series called Paradise City that has Drea De Matteo on it and a bunch of other people. So if you guys are fans of Black Veil Brides, I think you're going to absolutely love this episode. If you're not a fan of Black Veil Brides, Andy is an unapologetic Cincinnati Bengals fan and actually hosts a radio show about the Cincinnati Bengals. We talk a lot about sports and Boston and talked a lot about a lot of different things. His perspective on like women in rock is really profound. His wife is a singer. So there was a lot to talk about with him. And I found him to be just so charming and engaging and just a great interview. Like, you hear at the beginning that he's like, I can't wait to hear where you're going to take this. So I don't know who got into his ear, but kind of warned him that we go off on a lot of tangents on the podcast. And he was like, whatever it is, I'm ready for it. So let's just go. And he was really, really cool. Jonathan wants to know how the cornhole tournament was over the weekend at United Cultivation in Ashby. It was awesome. I met some really great people. What I'm shocked about is the number of people that I meet now as the world has kind of opened up a little bit. People that either don't have Facebook or don't follow my Twitter or my Instagram. And I'm bumping into people all the time that are like, oh my God, I miss you so much since AAF went off the air. What have you been up to? Where have you been? What are you doing now? And as I'm telling people about the podcast and as I'm telling people about the radio shows and the War Room and the website and the online store, I met so many people at the cornhole tournament on Saturday that were like, are you kidding? Like, you're doing all this stuff. I feel so stupid. But it just goes to show you that as popular and as informative and important, I guess, as social media is and influential as social media is, there are tons of people that don't use it. And so I'm still, every time I leave the house, bumping into people that are like, what are you doing now? What are you doing now? So if there's anybody here in the War Room tonight that, met me up at the cornhole tournament in Ashby, came into the War Room now, or is possibly checking out the podcast for the first time, it's been awesome being able to get out, meet people, and let them know what we've all been a part of since last March. But I think you guys are really going to love this week's episode. Andy was awesome. He was very upfront about the struggles with the band and was very candid about how they were able to overcome that kind of stuff. And I just thought he was awesome. I really did. I wasn't sure what to expect because I had only met him briefly in passing. I think backstage at the Palladium is what we were talking about in the podcast, but I had never interviewed him before. And I was really prepared for it, but I wasn't really sure what to expect. And I thought he was awesome. So definitely check out episode 60 of the Mistress Carrie podcast. It goes live at midnight tonight. And episode 60, features Andy Bierzak, the lead singer of the Black Veil Brides. If you subscribe to the Mistress Carrie podcast, you also get the Situation Report every weekday, which breaks down all of the rock news, music headlines, and entertainment updates. And it does it in less than 5 minutes so that you can check out all of the headlines with what's going on and then get on with your day. And then I always put in the show notes the links to all of the stories, if you're curious or want more information about one of the stories, you can always know where you can go to get more info. And by the way, the Andy Bierzak episode of the podcast has a fantastic corresponding playlist as well. I make a playlist for every full-length episode of the podcast that features all of the music from that artist and all of the other artists we talk about in the episode. And there's some great stuff. He is a huge Dropkick Murphys fan, which I had no idea about. So the podcast playlist is fantastic. Here are just a sampling of the places where you can check out the Mistress Carrie podcast. So wherever it is that you listen to podcasts, just search the Mistress Carrie podcast. As long as it has that artwork right there, then it's the podcast you're looking for. If you don't subscribe and listen to podcasts anywhere, you can always go to mistresscarrie.com. Every episode, every sit rep, every episode of the Cocktails in the War Room show is up at mistresscarrie.com with embeddable players in there. So you don't even have to go anywhere else. You can literally just click play and watch the old episodes of the War Room or listen to the full-length episodes or the sit reps right off the website. So you don't have to do anything. You'd be sitting at your desk and just listen to them right off the website. Check this shit out. I have been waiting to tell you guys. It's so weird how the list of countries that are interacting with the podcast, it like goes dormant for a while and then we get a big surge. Check this shit out, guys. Oh my God. The Mistress Carrie podcast is now in 114 countries. It's starting to get to the point where I'm having a hard time keeping track of who the new ones are and who they're not. But to my best recollection, we are welcoming listeners from Madagascar, Mozambique, Anguilla, Malta, and Tanzania. I think I said Anguilla right? It's not Anguilla, it's Anguilla. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I could not wait to tell you guys that we got 5 more countries checking out the podcast now. So we are now at 114 countries. No, I do not believe, Eric, that North Korea is one of them. I know. 114. It's unbelievable. So thank you guys so much for supporting the podcast, for posting the episodes, for sharing them, and for just helping to get the word out, because I couldn't have done any of this without you guys. You have been there since the beginning. The War Room started back March 14th of last year. And with every step along the way, you guys have been there. And look at what we're doing together. It's unbelievable to me. So holy shit, that's friggin' awesome. Congratulations, says Christine. Oh my God, I think that's all 6 continents. The only ones we don't have are the top and the bottom. All the other continents I think we got. Let's see. Mark says, "Oorah. Awesome. Congrats," says Jeff. Michelle says, "See how popular you are." Well, I don't know if it's me. I'm fairly certain that the rock stars we've had on the show, the big name rock stars we've been able to get are helping with the podcast. But yeah, it's absolutely amazing. So thank you guys so much for helping to get the word out. And if you know any Black Veil Brides fans, make sure that you're sharing episode 60 with them, because the episode goes live at midnight and it is great. All right, we have a lot of music headlines that we got to talk about. So the first thing I want to do is talk about Joey Jordison. He was one of the founding members, writers, and of course the original drummer from Slipknot. His family confirmed in a statement today that he passed away in his sleep yesterday at the age of 46. Now, there has not been a cause of death that has been announced yet. The family is asking for privacy, saying that the funeral plans and all of that are going to be private. I have not been able to be online the last couple hours to see if any statements have been made by the remaining members of Slipknot, Corey, Jim Root, Clown, all of those guys. But it's really sad. And some of the best times of my early years at AAF, the guys from Slipknot were part of that. I mean, I went on tour with them twice. I toured parts of Florida with them when Kitty was opening up for them. Back when Kitty first came out, when Brackish, their first single, came out. The guys from Slipknot poured me drunk into a cab in DC, and I flew back like first thing in the morning. I mean, literally we were partying until like 4:30 in the morning in DC. I got in a cab drunk, got to the airport. I don't know how I got on the plane, got to Logan, got in a cab at Logan, went to the radio station, which was on Huntington Ave at the time. So this had to have been sometime in late 99. Broke into my boss's office and passed out on his couch because I had a cubicle and had no place to sleep. And my boss came into work, saw that I was passed out on his couch in his office, and went into Ozone's office and worked on his computer until I woke up. But I have so many amazing memories of those early years of Slipknot and all of those guys. The Tattoo the Earth tour in 2000. We were all joking about how the Pantera guys told him to drink Pedialyte to get rid of their hangovers. And so we were all at Suffolk Downs drinking orange Pedialyte and vodka because we just figured, why cut out the middleman and why not just put vodka in the Pedialyte and just drink it at the same time. But they're just, I think I did one of their first television interviews at Local Bazooka. I think it was 99. That's the video that's up on YouTube when all 9 of them were like poking me and prodding me and screaming. And that's when Corey Taylor was just yelling butt gravy into the microphone and Sid was screaming through the gas mask and no one could understood anything. So even though, Joey hasn't been in the band in a while and I don't get involved with band politics about why he left the band or if he was asked to leave the band, like that wasn't my thing. But even though it's somebody that I have not really kept in touch with all that much. I mean, I had seen him with the Murder Dolls and kind of, seen him at shows and stuff. But those early years when I was on the air at AAF were such formative years. And it was such a crazy time in rock and roll. And AAF was right in the middle of all of it. I mean, it was like an F5 tornado and we were sitting right in the middle of it. And it just makes me sad because there were so many good times. I went full Fernandez in DC. Absolutely, I did, Eric, 100%. I mean, when I think about it now, I'm like, what the hell was I doing? Drunk by myself in a cab in DC at 4:30 in the morning? Like, and it was Paul Gray that actually walked me. I went to my room, got my bags, and he walked outside, and Paul Gray actually waited for the cab with me. And then once I was in the cab, went back upstairs and kept partying with the rest of the guys in the band. But, so obviously now there are 2 guys from the original lineup of Slipknot that are gone now. And it just is very sad. So producer Mike was texting me earlier and about it. And it just really kind of, I hope that the family gets some kind of closure with the autopsy. And I feel really bad for the rest of the guys in Slipknot because, it's just a sad thing. 46 years old. That's just a ridiculous young age to be dying at. Jerry says, if you guys have never seen Slipknot before, go see them. It is insane. It is insane. I can't even count the number of times I've seen them by now. And every time I go, it's an absolute blast. The last time we brought Stiz and we were like, Stiz, go in the pit. Just go in the pit one time at Slipknot. And he had an absolute blast. I talked to Stiz Saturday, by the way, for a while. And we had a great conversation. And how is Corey doing? I don't know. Like I said, once I got off the radio earlier tonight, I was getting the show ready and doing a bunch of other stuff. And I wasn't online. So I have not been online to see if statements have been made by any of the other members of Slipknot or anybody. So I don't know. All right. Wanted to remind you guys about Rival Sons, that those tickets went on sale this past Friday. Huge fan of this band. They are absolutely fantastic. If you love blues-based rock and roll, tickets went on sale last Friday. Touring with Dorothy. They're going to be at the House of Blues in Boston on the 24th of October, but they're doing a huge tour. So no matter where you're joining us in the War Room from, the tickets to see the Rival Sons at a concert date near you are on sale, and you don't want to miss them because they are great. A reminder that Nikki Sixx's new book, The First 21, is coming out on October. The First 21, meaning his first 21 years, comes out on October 19th. There is also new 6 a.m. coming. The band, DJ Ashba, actually confirmed that the band recorded it already. Iron Maiden has announced Senjutsu, their new album, which is coming out on September 3rd. It is their 17th album, and the first single, The Writing on the Wall, is out now. The Dio autobiography, Rainbow in the Dark, came out today. Now, Dio himself started writing this autobiography before he passed away in 2010. And then his manager and widow, Wendy Dio, got British rock journalist Mick Wall to actually help finish the book. And then Wendy helped to finish the book as well. But it is officially out now. It's available everywhere. You can order it off Amazon or go to Barnes & Noble, wherever you get your books, and get the Dio autobiography. As far as an audiobook, I do not know if there is one, and I don't know who narrates it. So if you listen to books like that, I'm not sure if it's available. The guys from Shinedown made a huge announcement. So September 3rd is going to be a big day. Not only are we going to get new Maiden, but Shinedown's Attention film is coming out. Now, the album Attention came out in 2018, and it is a concept album. They didn't want to give everything away, but if you go back and listen to my interviews with the guys from Shinedown, they hint about this stuff. They made a full-length feature film that is going to have the band and actors in it as well, and it's going to be available on video on demand starting on September 3rd. So I want to make sure you guys knew about that. Daughtry has his new album called Dearly Beloved coming out on September 17th. Just today, Volbeat released their cover of Don't Tread on Me off of the Blacklist tribute album to the Black Album. So if you don't know a lot about the Blacklist, there are 53 different artists of all genres of music that are paying tribute to the 12 songs off of the Black Album for its 30th anniversary. And I'm talking not just rock artists, country artists, hip hop artists, classical artists. It's a little bit of everything. And it just kind of goes to show you the power of Metallica, that they've got this wide array of artists that are covering their music and helping to celebrate what is one of the biggest albums that has ever come out, which is the Black Album from Metallica. So just today, Volbeat released their version of Don't Tread on Me. And I believe Portugal the Man is also covering Don't Tread on Me on the Blacklist as well. So wanted to call your attention to that. There's new music coming out on Friday, including Geezer Butler, who is releasing a box set of all of his solo material to be able to get it all in one place, called Manipulations of the Mind. And Seether has a new EP coming out on Friday called Wasteland, the Purgatory EP. If you scroll down on my Facebook page and you go to my Twitter feed, I tweeted out the link to the trailer of Ghostbusters Afterlife. Holy shit, does it look good? Paul Rudd is in it. It looks so good. The woman that was in The Leftovers, whose name I can't remember off the top of my head, she plays the mom. One of the kids from Stranger Things is in it. And a lot of the original cast members. Annie Potts makes an appearance in the trailer, but a lot of the original cast members are supposed to be back. And Ivan Reitman's son directs it. So I'm pretty excited about it. If you have not watched the trailer yet, I think you're going to absolutely love it. Absolutely love the Black Album, says Jeff. I'm ready to believe you, says Eric. It does look good. I so want to see it. Yeah, it's really cool how they incorporated the old Ghostbusters commercial from the original movie and put it up on YouTube in the trailer for the new film. Like, we're ready to believe you. I am really excited for it, so I can't wait. When are we going to hear the new Mudvayne album? I don't know, but there's been a lot of stuff going on online of rehearsals with the guys from Mudvayne, because they're back together and they're playing some shows. So it's been nice to see things showing up on social media, to see the guys from Mudvayne back together, which is awesome. So yeah, Thomas, you know what? That was one of the other things I wanted to talk to you about. Mike Howe from Metal Church passed away. It was announced yesterday. He was, I believe, 56 years old. There's been no cause of death that's been announced for that one either. So it's been a rough couple of days for the metal community, and it's very sad because we're losing people earlier than we should. 46 years old for Joey Jordison. Mike Howe was only 56, I believe. So this is far too young to be losing people. Mudvayne released a rehearsal video. It's 1 minute long. That's what I was talking about, Joshua. Like all of that viral footage of those guys working together again is very cool. So, all right, I want to remind you guys about some events that are coming up. I'm getting ready in a couple of weeks to go to Nashville for Rockin' Pod. So next Tuesday night when we meet here in the War Room for episode 143, I'm going to be looking for your suggestions on some of the places I should definitely try and check out while I'm in Nashville. So don't put them in the comments, save them for next week, but I want to talk to you guys about that. I'll also tell you a little bit more about what I'm going to be doing down there. I'm going to be being the moderator of a panel down there and doing some interviews down there as well. I also want to remind you guys about the Boston Wounded Vet Run, which is coming up on September 19th. It leaves out of Boston Harley and ends at Anthony's of Malden. I am going to be there with a big tent. So definitely come and say hey. And then there are some other events that I want to remind you guys about, including this Sunday, the autograph signing and the book signing for The Rifle. There are over 50 World War II veterans that are going to be in attendance at the American Heritage Museum on Sunday. The details on all of these events are on the event calendar at mistresscarrie.com with links, directions, everything you need to know. But the Rifle book signing is happening this Sunday. Then there is the 7th annual, Project New Hope motorcycle ride that's happening. I want to make this bigger for you guys. I feel bad that some of these things are so small. But the Project New Hope 7th annual motorcycle run is coming up as well. Hold on, I want to get the date right. Saturday, August 21st. Sorry, the print is really small on my screen and I couldn't read all of it. So that's coming up, details on the event calendar. And then also the Devon's Dog and Music Festival is happening the next day, August 22nd. And that's happening in Devon's, actually, as a part of their facility. So I wanted to make sure you guys were aware of all of these amazing events that are going on. And this is just some of the stuff that we put on the events calendar at mistresscarrie.com. Mail call this week. It was a little crazy. I didn't have a chance to go to the post office, so my apologies. So there's nothing to show you in the mail call this week. I apologize. But that's the address in case you need it for anything. Want to remind you guys about the Christmas in July sale that's going to end this weekend. So if you want discounted Christmas ornaments, I know we don't want to talk about Christmas right now, but it's Christmas in July. So you get $15 off of the Christmas ornaments in the Mistress Carrie online store if you use the code JulyXmas15. And also the black coffee mugs are also in the online store as well. So I want to remind you because next week's episode, the Christmas in July sale will be over. So if you want discounted Christmas ornaments, get them now. Donna is celebrating her birthday. We were talking about it earlier. Donna's celebrating her birthday along with Rex Brown from Pantera, Juliana Hatfield, and Pete Yorn, who are all, the Chester Bennington anniversary was on last week's episode. They're all celebrating or all born on this date. So happy birthday, Donna, and everybody else that's celebrating a birthday on the 27th day of July. I also want to remind you guys about the Mistress Carrie backstage passes. And this is one of the reasons why I wanted to bring up when we were talking about the concert tickets. So backstage pass holders get an exclusive live stream every month. They submit podcast interview questions and find out who's going to be on the podcast ahead of time. They get early access to event tickets, which is something that could be popping up sooner than later. So if and when we hold events where you need to purchase tickets, they're going to have early access to those to guarantee that they can get in. And also, there are going to be backstage pass only exclusive concert ticket giveaways. So it is definitely something where I am starting to be able to get access to concert tickets, and people with Mistress Carrie backstage passes are going to have access to some of these ticket giveaways exclusively. So if you are not a backstage pass holder, you can get it at patreon.com/Mistress Carrie, or just go to mistresscarrie.com and click the Patreon link. Wait, Kate Beckinsale is 47 today? Guys, do you follow her on Instagram? She is amazingly hilarious. She's hot as balls, but she is funny. Happy unbirthday, Keith. I had no idea today was Kate Beckinsale's birthday. I love her. She's somebody that I would love to have on the podcast, because every interview I've ever seen her do, she is so charming. And usually women, guys too, that are that hot aren't that charismatic and funny. And she is. So I would love to have her on the podcast. But thank you for the reminder. Kate Beckinsale is 47. Thank you. Happy birthday to anybody else. Happy unbirthday, Keith. Wait, is there a spelling error? Or are you drinking because I swore? Because there's a thing in the war room that if there's a spelling error up on the screen, you're drinking because I left Chester Bennington's anniversary up from last week. You're right. Cheers. Yeah. You drink to my fuck ups. I appreciate that. Oh my God, her cat. She actually has two, Christina. She has a male and a female cat. And then she's got the Pomeranian too, right? She like puts them in costumes, and she's hilarious. Carrie, do an interview with Ivan Moody from Five Finger Death Punch. I have requested members of Five Finger Death Punch, and because they're working in the studio right now, they're not ready to do it yet. But trust me, I've put the request in already. There are some great episodes coming up too, by the way. Legendary musicians, and just some really cool people that are coming on the podcast. So I am super excited about the artists that are coming on and the interviews that I've been doing. And I really hope you guys are going to love not only this week's episode, which, by the way, is episode 60 already, featuring Andy Bierzak from Black Veil Brides, but also the episodes that are coming up in the coming weeks and in the coming months. She is so damn hot. I know, Mark. She really is. It's kind of not fair that she seems that nice and she's that funny and that she's that pretty. Like, she's got to have smelly armpits or something, or like ugly feet. She has to have an imperfection somewhere. I need to know what it is. Let's see. The start of a global takeover. I know. I'm still like mind blown that the podcast is in 114 countries now. So, I just can't believe it. You know, the way things are growing as the world is starting to open up, the reaction that I'm getting from people when they find out about it. I get emails all the time at mistresscarrie.com about people that are like, I just found your podcast, and then I went back and listened to like 20 old episodes of it. So it's growing all the time, and I'm seeing it in the bar graph that it's slowly growing. And as the world opens up, I feel like once we can start going to concerts together, once I'm able to really start traveling too, I mean, you know, the only time I've really been able to go anywhere has been to try and see my husband. But to be able to go to Nashville and to be able to sit down with artists and other podcasters and rock fans, I'm just really excited about where things are going. Who's going to be on episode 69? I don't know yet. I've plotted out, I think, through episode 66, but I put there's a bunch of requests out there right now. I don't know who episode 69 is going to be, but it's going to be pretty hilarious. One big foot at a time, says Jonathan. We need Stevie Nicks. Guys, check this out. Speaking of Stevie Nicks, today is the 40th anniversary of Belladonna. And then, as I was reading about the 40th anniversary of Belladonna, it struck me that Edge of 17 was the sample that Destiny's Child used. So if Stevie Nicks did not release Belladonna, we would not have Bootylicious. And Stevie Nicks is in the video, which I totally forgot about. And as I was on the air today talking about Stevie Nicks, because I wanted to be her when I was a kid, and talking about the anniversary of Belladonna, it said, and Stevie Nicks made an appearance in the Bootylicious video. And I was like, there's no fucking way Stevie Nicks was in the Bootylicious video. She is in the Bootylicious video with an acoustic guitar, because that's the sample that Destiny's Child used. Go back and watch it. My mind was blown because I totally forgot that Stevie Nicks was in the Bootylicious video, which still sounds weird to say out loud, that Stevie Nicks was in a Bootylicious video, but she was. And we're all better for it. And I just hope that every time people play Bootylicious that Stevie Nicks gets paid, because that's how it should be. She is my goddess too, Trina. Like, absolutely love Stevie Nicks. I love her voice. Just growing up, I mean, think about it. These were the women that I wanted to be growing up. Are you ready? I wanted to be Stevie Nicks, and I wanted to be Sandy at the end of Grease. These were my role models. Tell me about it, stud. Like, those were the women that I watched on television and was like, I want to be like that. Why is anybody surprised about what happened with this? Nobody should be surprised at all, anywhere. I'm going to go... I got to go and watch it. Mind blowing. Heidi, I'm telling you, I sat there in MCHQ today going, I can't believe I'm Googling the Destiny's Child Bootylicious video. And for fuck's sake, Stevie Nicks is in it, which is just crazy. Was Ivan Moody in the military? I do not believe Ivan Moody was in the military. However, I used to argue with people about this, and it's true that Ivan Moody was the singer in Motor Grader, which was a band that was on the Ozfest that was around for a hot minute. Motor Grader was named after this weird instrument that they built that was called a motor grader. And all of the guys in the band were like painted black with like white skeleton bones painted on them. And Ivan Moody was all white. And I interviewed them sitting on the parking lot, like on the ground in the parking lot of what was Great Woods back in the day. And at the end of the interview, Ivan Moody hugged me and I was covered with his white makeup. And I have these really funny pictures. I totally forgot that that was Ivan Moody, but it was. But I don't think he was in the military, although I could be wrong. Jonathan says, I had my first experience at El Camino. Great food. Did you have the chicken piccata? Their cheese raviolis and their garlic bread. Oh, I would punch somebody for that garlic bread. It's so good. Saw a motor grader at the Fitchburg airport. Maybe that's where. No, because I think Motor Grader played Loco Bazooka too, but I believe they were on the Ozfest as well. I never figured out who was in that picture, Christina, but I'm trying to get to the end of it. I remember that show, says Walter. Ivan is not prior military. Thank you for looking that up, Brianna. All of the girls that don't like Stevie Nicks became Karens, says Trina. I was talking about this on the air yesterday, and I'll tell you the story before we end the show tonight. So yesterday, I go out to walk Wednesday and to take her in the garden, which, by the way, my garden is jacked up. We have gotten so much rain. My tomato plants are dying. The big tomato plants, the San Marzanos, are dying. The cherry tomato plants are just stunted. But my tomato plants are rotting because of the water that we've gotten. But I took Wednesday out yesterday morning and I smell smoke. And I had not seen anything online or anything that there was smoke and that the air quality was going to get bad. And I was like, oh, what's going on? So the daughter of a firefighter that I am, I called the fire department. I didn't call 911, but I called the fire department and they're like, this line's being recorded. And I was like, look, I don't know if somebody else is called. I don't know if there's a wildfire. I don't know what's going on, but I smell smoke and it's really hazy outside. So I know that it's smoke. I know that it's not something else. I know that it's smoke. And the fire department was like, okay. So the fire trucks come and they're like, we're trying to figure out if there's like a fire, like a wildfire up in the woods somewhere, or like why it's so smoky. And then all of a sudden, we start hearing that this smoke was moving in from these wildfires in northern Canada. And because of the way the jet stream is, and because of the humidity in the air, there was all of this smoke that you guys have seen the last couple days, and the air quality has been terrible. But I was like, I'm really sorry that I bothered you. And they were like, you're the only person that's called. Like, the air is full of smoke and no one's called. So either I'm on point or everyone else saw the news and realized that the wildfires in northern Canada were the cause of all the smoke and I didn't. So I want to thank the firefighters that came. They showed up. I gave them cold bottles of water because they were outside and they were sweating their bejesus off. So I brought them all cold bottles of water. But when you said people that grew up not liking Stevie Nicks became Karens, I felt slightly Karen-ish yesterday. However, my sister, whose name is Karen, when I was making that joke, said you didn't ask to speak to the chief of the police, of the fire department, so therefore you cannot be granted full Karen status. So I was denied full Karen status because I just talked to the regular firefighters and not requesting to officially talk to the chief himself. So there you go. Did you grow lilacs in your garden? I have lilacs and they were amazing this year, but my tomatoes are terrible. None of the members have prior military service yet. If you guys are still talking about Five Finger, none of the guys were in the military. However, go and look up Zoltan Bathory. He's Hungarian, and his story about what he lived through and his immigrating to the United States is pretty interesting. So you can go and look him up. And that he was part of that band UPO way back in the day, which is how we met. And then when he started putting Five Finger Death Punch together, he actually called me at the radio station and said, I'm working on this band that I'm putting it together and I want you to help me break this band. And I said, what are they called? And he said, Five Finger Death Punch. And I was like, wow, you're really just going after it, aren't you, Zoltan? And the rest is history. So there you go. Wednesday, come here. What's this? Do you want this? She's sitting over here on the couch. What are you doing? Come here. What's mommy got? What's this? What's this? Do you want this? Hold on. What's mommy got? Do you want to say goodnight to everybody? Huh? You want to say goodnight to everyone? Say goodnight, everybody. Thank you for being in the war room. Obviously, I'm bored because I'm yawning. She likes that spot right under there, huh? Say goodnight, everybody. Come here. Come here. Come here. You want to come make pug noises in the microphone? Say hi to... Don't eat the microphone, psycho. Say hi to everybody. No, don't eat the microphone. Well, we got a new term that's going in the dictionary tonight. The pug hole. There you go. All right, guys, don't forget episode 60 of the Mistress Carrie podcast goes live at midnight featuring Andy Biersack from Black Veil Brides. I will be back in the war room next Tuesday night at 8:30 if you want to join me live. Thanks to everybody that watches the show after the fact on my YouTube channel. And thanks to everybody that is checking out the new radio shows too. I'm starting to get a lot of messages from people through mistresscarrie.com telling me that they're really enjoying the new radio show, which I'm pretty excited for as well. So thank you guys so much for everything. All the episodes of the War Room, 114 countries with the podcast. We've been on quite a ride, and she did give you a mic kiss, Brianna. So good night, guys. Oh, and by the way, I thought it was awesome that a bunch of the people from the War Room got together over the weekend, and I'm so sorry that I couldn't make it. So to Brito and all of the guys that got together over the weekend, cheering up Travis, who's under the weather, and I just think it's amazing how supportive you guys are of each other, and I'm really sorry that I couldn't join you guys on Saturday. So, all right, I'll see you guys next week. Good night, everybody. Enjoy episode 60.